some of the common mistakes that investors make about network effects when they look at investing in businesses with network effects?
There are many. I would say a high level, what we see that we found really annoying is basically overclaiming network effects. Again, at this point, everyone and their grandmother is aware that network effects can lead to like very high value, very high defensibility, and yes, very high valuations from investors. As a result, there's this temptation to overclaim network effects even when they're just not there. And we see this all the time. So the common mistakes would be like, well, claiming network effects when in fact it's virality. So some of the examples that we talked about, and we see lots of versions of that. Or simply just like claiming, okay, we have network effects, therefore this is very defensible. The whole point of this whole like 1.5 hour in the conversation that we had is precisely to discuss that just because you have network effects is absolutely no guarantee of defensibility. Like network effects come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them are great and make for great investments. Some of them are actually no better than investing in a restaurant business next door.
Just to emphasize Andre's point, we just see it all the time. Like when we're looking at deal memos, right? Like we got network effects, and then we're like, where are the network effects? Either they're very minuscule or they're just completely confused. They're not network effects at all, right? And it just comes up again and again and again. The other sort of similar point is they'll say we are Uber for X, or we're Airbnb for Y. And when you look at what they're doing, it doesn't make any sense at all, right? Like not a good understanding of the business models of those businesses.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing I would add is, on the positive side, sometimes they're actually overlooking the potential to add network effects into businesses or turn the businesses into platforms. So they're actually underselling the potential of the business because they haven't realized there's this product to platform transformation that can happen that is actually creates a much more valuable product or service than the original one that's being put forward.
Yeah. So basically your last three questions and on that increase that evaluate the defensibility, I guess that goes to the point where for the startup that has network effects that score well on these three questions, it's good if they have a first mover advantage, right? Because everybody start from chicken and egg, critical mass. Once you have critical mass, all these three defensibility then makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because everybody anyway have to start from that chicken and eggs in order to have that liquidity, in order to have that hard to coordinate, to leave, all that stuff, right?
Actually, just related to that point, if you're evaluating investing in startups and you looked at these 7 criteria and you say, on this market, you've got all 7 things are holding, this looks really good. If you're the first mover, it's like, that's great. You definitely want to invest. If you're the second mover, and there's an existing incumbent and you have all these 7 features, it's actually a bad thing, right? Like it's actually going to be impossible to break through.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I was thinking to myself, in terms of defense of the third upstream as well, it's possible, but then, which means that actually it's about like the first, the last 3 is like, if they are the first mover, that'd be great. But the second one, then it's like, well, then, how do you overcome it? It's not possible.
That's right.